Hey, assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome back to yet another episode of the ShOUT Show with me, your host, Preacher Moss. First of all, let me give thanks for people who have been following the show, making comments, giving encouragement. I need that. I'm not the best host in the world. I'm just trying to get better. But fortunately, I have some of the best audience people in the world. So we have some people tuning in, some special people. Hopefully they're going to chime in. These are ladies of my life. These are my aunt and my mother. Inshallah, we will see them soon. And I want to give a thanks for some people that reached out to me yesterday after the show in regards to some of the things we talked about on our subject matter, which was creativity in the age of COVID-19. Really just some beautiful stories, some beautiful reflections, and just really talking about some of the stuff that we were doing. We have Sister Kathina Harani. Did I say that right, sister? In any way, thank you for coming on the show, and walaikum assalam to you. Welcome to the show, Ramadan Kareem as well. Today we have a theme. Yesterday was talking about creativity in the age of COVID. So we decided to give Tuesday a theme. This is something I've been thinking about for quite a while. I want to call attention to Tuesday, and I want to officially name Tuesday on the ShOUT Show Take It Back Tuesday. Let me give you the framework for Take It Back Tuesday. It's not really regrets or anything like that. We all have things that we're regrettable for, but take it back. For some people, it means just take it back to the way we used to do things, and that's fine. For some people, it means, I wish I could take that back. And some people mean, I'm going to take it back, but what did I take from it? And these are the ideas that we want to share here on the ShOUT Show. As this is Ramadan, every once in a while, I like to get a little personal. My transition in Islam was interesting. I was one of the guys that took a Jummah, took Salat, if you will, not Salat, but made Salat and prayed and took my Shahada and immediately left the masjid. For a while there, it's safe to say that I didn't necessarily have a lot of Islamic knowledge. I was traveling on the road as a comedian. So I was picking it up from pamphlets and things like that. And you know what? How you doing, Sister Westchester? Thank you. If he was married or not. Which brother? You gotta let me know. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. I want to touch on this fact. It's Ramadan. And my take it back, if you want. I love to hear some of your take it backs. My take it back was my first two Ramadans. And essentially what happened was I was not very patient as a young Muslim, wasn't very patient. My first Ramadan, I basically was a typical guy. I knew that a part of being Muslim, so I didn't get my Muslim license revoked, was that I had to fast and dig this one. I had to fast, and I didn't say even fast, it was starved. I was like, this is what Muslims are doing. I'm going to do it. I want to be a Muslim. One thing that happened, I think it was my second Ramadan, was I was in a spot, and you can tell when you're young in the fasting game, you will look at the newspaper to find out exactly when the sun goes down. I don't care who you are. I did it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But in this particular time, I would time myself so I would actually be in line to buy food. That's how precise I was. I'd be in line. I would look at the amount of people. If the line moved too quick, I have someone go in front of me. Okay, we're talking absolutely nuts stuff. Hey, what's up, brother Yusuf? It got pretty crazy. And there I was at this food place, timing my iftar with the amount of people in line. And this is what happened. I went off. I felt like the line wasn't moving enough. I literally looked at people who didn't know me and shouted out to them that I should be first in line because I'm fasting for my Lord. And the people looking at me like, this black man is crazy. who cares? We're all hungry. And I felt like I wasn't being respected. So summarily what happened was I walk out. I figured these people are not worth my business. I didn't even know the word for iftar back then. I'm just not going to give them food after sundown. And I walked out and I saw a gentleman. And I'm going to pace this a little bit because I don't want to get emotional. But I saw a man who was digging for food in a trash can. And I figured I'm going to do a good deed. But check out how I did it, though. He was digging for food in a trash can. And I didn't know his name. I didn't ask his name. I literally yelled out, "Hey, bum." I literally yelled out, "Hey, bum. Hey, yo, bum. Hey." And he looked at me, like responding to me because I did so many times. This is how disrespectful I was. He looked up and he goes, "Can I help you?" I go, "Listen, tonight you don't have to dig in a trash can for food." I gave him $10. Do what you want to do with it. I walked off. I said, "Assalamu alaikum," very flippantly. "Assalamu alaikum." I turned around. And by the time I got to the end of the alleyway, this brother yelled out, "Walaikum assalam, Ramadan Mubarak." And I was destroyed. I literally was destroyed. I've never cried like this, except in the wake of losing a loved one. I cried out of shame that during such a beautiful month, I treated this individual like that. And potentially he was Muslim, looking for his iftar out of the trash can. His dignity was that he couldn't even go into that store. He would rather not beg in the store, but go into the trash can looking for food. Here he was, a reminder to me. I gave him the $10, not with respect, not with dignity, not with care, but with arrogance. And the words out of his mouth were, "Walaikum assalam, Ramadan Mubarak." And I was crushed. That's my story for Take It Back Tuesday. And I'm saying that because, you know what? We all have a duty to our brothers and sisters. Even during these times with COVID-19, there are people who are going out and doing things. Thank you, Sister Miller, for tuning in, Callie in the house. But we all have a responsibility for service. It does not matter whether we are rich, poor. There's always somebody who's doing worse than us. And in this case, we don't know who they are. We literally don't know who they are. One of the dangers of the coronavirus or COVID-19 is that we don't know what the disease is, and we don't really know how it affects people. It's the same way with poverty in a lot of cases. And what I mean with that is we don't know how people are affected. We don't ask, we assume. So here on Take It Back Tuesdays, I'm going to say, you know what? What are some of the things you wish you didn't assume on? Like for me, I wished I didn't assume that this person was just a vagrant digging out of a trash can. For a moment, I lost sight of him being a human being. That's my fault. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to own up to it. I'm totally going to own up to it. Sister Adrian Jasper, hold on, everybody. Sister Adrian Jasper, I know that you did a shout out for your mother who had passed. I made dua for her, and I just want to say thank you for coming back for the show. I want to give your mom a shout out. I normally do the shout outs at the end, but I'm so happy you came on. Let's give a big up to mom, okay? Thank you, sister. Back to the show. Brother Yusuf Jalil, what you going to speak on, brother? A responsibility for service. That we do need that. We need that. Take it back. There was a time, people, when I didn't know charity was charity. I was used to a group of people in my neighborhood who we just took care of one another. The old stable of the neighborhood taking care of their own. That whole idea of it takes a village to raise a child. I think it took 2 villages for me. I mean, I was that crazy as a kid. I mean, I had my immediate family, but I had my neighbors, people like Mr. Sklafford, people like Mr. Pollard, people like, Mr. Austin, Mr. Lowe. I see how many people I'm able to bring up. How many people I'm actually able to bring up. That's the beauty of Take It Back Tuesday. Sometimes you have to take it back to remember just the organic blessings that you had, and we kind of got away from them. Like, I love the fact that we can stay in contact with people. We can use social media. We can do all these things. But one of the things that we cannot get away from is the beauty of communication. Framing a lot of communication, and let me say how we're going to frame it, as a pathway for people to reveal what they like, what they love, what's hurting them, what's bringing them pain. As a comedian, I'm going to tell you, certain things crack me up. Some things just befuddle me. I'm going to divert a little bit. I am currently under attack from Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't come to the house anymore because of COVID-19. What they do now is they send letters. I have the letters, 2 letters from the O'Brien family. I think they know that I'm Muslim. The O'Brien family sent me 2 letters. And then here was the killer. They gave me 2. I'm not making this up. They gave me 2 videos. Look, Jesus. 3 Jesus films on 1 DVD. And I'm like, how much Jesus can I have? And it's in 8 languages: English, Mandarin, Spanish, Hindi, French, Urdu, Arabic, and Vietnamese. I don't even have a problem with them sitting there. I have a problem with they put 1 DVD in the door. Okay, that's fine. But they put 1 on my windshield. And, it stayed on my windshield because I'm inside all the time. And when I came out in the morning, the DVD was moist. I'm like, look, have respect for religious materials. I mean, Jesus was already crucified. Hey, listen, he doesn't need to be moist. All right. That's all I'm saying. Do a little bit job, respect the materials. Like, I would never leave a Quran on your windshield. Well, maybe I will. That's a thought. So look, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. As you guys know, with my show, I do keep it short. Number one, this is a Ramadan type of thing. Ramadan 30 for 30. When I say 30 for 30, I mean that we are going to go all through the month of Ramadan, inshallah. And I like to keep the show short. Muslim events, I love us, but sometimes they're just too long. Everybody's been to that killer fundraiser that started at 7 and turned to a telethon, and you were like, "We can't. Please stop fundraising because it's Fajr." I'm talking about them fundraisers. So listen, we're going to take a short break, but I actually want everyone to think about some of the basic ideas that I talked about on I'm sorry, we're calling this officially, yes, calling this officially Take It Back Tuesdays. Just think of some of the things I talked about on Take It Back Tuesdays, and I hope that you guys will come back after this short break. I know you have a lot of things to do. You have places to go. God bless you. But we're going to make this thing happen. I'm sorry, Brother Bilal Hassan. Are you which Bilal? There's a lot of Bilal Hassans out there. I don't want to say anything. Which Bilal Hassan? Bilal from Howard, from DC? I'm just taking a shot. People say, I don't know. But inshallah it is. But in any event, we're going to take a cause for the pause. We're going to take a pause for the cause. That's what the old folks used to say. And we're going to come back with something. I hope to see you soon. I hope you come back. Thank you in advance for taking part in this podcast, the Shout Out Show with Preacher Moss. Thank you so much, everybody. Why would I do a CD called Confessions of a Muslim Comedian? And that was the idea of bringing entertainment to Muslims, for Muslims, about Muslims, but for everybody. I got Dean in my life. Who is Dean? What you bring me? You know how Muslims get you all hyped up? And he said, brother, you ready to be Muslim? I said, yeah. He said, you know what that means? I said, tell me, brother. He said, you ready to give up the swine? I said, yes, sir. I'm giving up the swine. He said, are you ready to give up the alcohol? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol. He said, you ready to give up the women? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol. All right. Someone actually texted me on a take it back. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Someone actually texted me on Take It Back Tuesday. And let me apologize to my aunt. She did not get the link for the show. Ooh boy. You know what? I'm gonna be in big trouble. What's up, Big Sergeant? Sergeant, and I'm gonna put this brother up right here. Just so you know that there are Muslims in Utah. Um, they all work at Walmart in one aisle. No, I'm just kidding. No, they have a really beautiful masjid out there, beautiful community. And if you ever go out to Salt Lake City, go visit. There are Muslims there. I've done several shows there and had a great time. Beautiful community, warm-hearted people. Brother Sajid, I had to just blow you out about, about that, but forgive me. All right. Let me. And Bilal Hassan has stated that I'm in trouble with my auntie. You're right, because I should have had this thing together. So forgive me for that. All right. So I will deal with her later, but I hear her in my ear at this point in time. I sent her a link with her and my mom, so I think she might have gotten the wrong link, but I'll take that spanking a little bit later. I got a Take It Back Tuesday note from an old friend of mine. He says, brother, I wish you could take it back to when you introduced me to my wife. All right. I'm going to tell you why that's funny. First of all, he loves his wife. He loves his wife. But they are in a situation where they spend way too much time with one another. A lot of y'all in that same situation. A lot of you in the same situation. You're realizing that the person you've loved for all these many years has flaws, things you didn't recognize, things you didn't have time to contemplate on. Sometimes it's the way they chew their food. Sometimes it's the way they close their doors. Some of us realize with this online teaching that we have children that are vastly more intelligent than we are. I can't help my own but her homework. All I can do is look at the book. I know I'm not alone. That's just real talk, man. Also, you realize that you miss certain things. You miss certain things. You actually miss missing your family sometimes because you're there all the time. You just, like if I would have come downstairs, my family were gone for a couple of days. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't call, missing persons report. I wouldn't file a missing person report at least for an hour. Okay. 72 times 2. All right, 6 days. I give it 6 days before I give them a call, but we love our families, man. This is a funny part, because here we are in the month of Ramadan. And I'm realizing, some of the things I did back in Ramadan, like I didn't break fast well for a lot of years. Like I thought it was halal to break fast with a Snickers. I figure it was good. It had nuts in it. It worked for me. But you learn later on in one of my first engagements with quote unquote the Muslim community. Actually, a brother said, no, brother, you are doing everything wrong. I said, what do you mean? He goes, no, you're doing everything wrong. I said, brother, what do you mean? He goes, no, brother, you are supposed to do break your fast with a Snickers. I said, no, not with a Snickers, with a date. And I was like, well, what's a date? I really wasn't a date. We didn't have dates in the neighborhood. So essentially what the brother told me was this. He said, just don't worry about it. He said, go to the masjid right around iftar. Let brother know you're Muslim. Whoever's there is going to take care of you. So I'm on the road. And I went to this masjid. It was like, I think it was like Pakistani. There's mostly Pakistani brothers and sisters there. And I showed up. And I'm like, hey, I'm here to break my fast. Give it to me. And the brother just gave me a date and then just walked away. And I'm like, I hope this isn't it because I'm going to starve to death. Because I'm thinking in my mind, hey, man, at least Christianity, Jesus had the Last Supper. I mean, what's going on here? But my point to all of you is, in that story that I gave about Take It Back Tuesdays, whether you post on the show or not, reflection. Pure, important, engaged reflection. This is the beauty of quote unquote COVID-19. Because most people with COVID-19, I mean, if you think about it, and I've said this being real, COVID-19 unfortunately has killed uh, well over 50,000 people. What we lose fact of is the fact that here in the United States, just last year, we lost almost 700,000 people to heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, and associated diseases. And nobody is talking about that. Nobody. I'm talking about here on the Shout Out Show. I want to take that back. And I want everybody to understand that, while these things are happening, everybody isn't dying for COVID. Some people are dying because, you know what? Allah just says it's time to come on home. So, Bismillah, bro. That Snickers ain't never hurt nobody. They got culture. There you go. Thank you. Sister Mill. I appreciate you. I'm giving another shout out. Nafisa, peace to you, sister. At the bottom of the screen is a little link for a campaign that I'm doing with Muslim Aid. I haven't really shouted it out. Maybe I should. But if you go to launchgood.com/Preacher Moss, and if you can do whatever you can, my focus is feeding our children here. Let me tell you what that means. When I say feeding our children here, I mean here in the United States. One of the realities when I was a school teacher was I spent a lot of money on my students. That's why teachers are traditionally poor. Because you get your thing and you see reality in the classroom. And some of y'all might make jokes about me being a teacher. I don't care. But I do care about the kids. And what would happen when kids would come in and you would see immediate need, and you couldn't go to the school board, you couldn't really go to the principal, and you would dig in your pocket and you would give out whatever the kids need. You purchase shoes and food, and shoes and clothes and food and all that stuff, and books and things, and you find yourself giving groceries to the families as you become closer to them. You know what? That's why I'm saying feed our children here. We have a lot of dysfunctional situations just in terms of food availability in inner cities. We have food deserts. Are you real? You hear what I'm saying? We have food deserts, which means there's no market within walking distance. What you go is to the corner store and they got liquor and the bad meat. And you could tell the meat is bad in these shops. You know why? Because none of the meat has expiration dates. Book it. I just told you. But my point is, I want to help our kids here in the United States. I'll do my job for everybody overseas. Got you. But for my campaign, help feed our children here in the United States. So anybody feels like going and donating, I would much appreciate it. Listen, brothers and sisters, we have raced through a lot of time. And I believe the reason we raced through a lot of time is that you, my viewers, my supporters that have come on the show, you make the job a lot easier when I'm talking to you. Many of you don't understand how hard it is to sit in front of a screen and just talk, or just sit and talk unless you're like in court or something like that. I just want again to pitch this idea of feeding our kids here, but to take it back Tuesday. I said, take it back sometimes, memories, take it back something you did. Take it back and realize there may be a situation whereby I'm just saying, hey, man, what did you learn? Now we're wrapping up here. Hey, thank you, Sister Kathina, for coming back. I'm going to give a shout out to my main man right here. Yeah, he's right, man. That's the way we do it. We're old school, Tarek. I call it brother just because. And if I had your numbers, people, I'd call you too and buck the heck out of you. We're going to run a little late. Quickly, if you have anybody you want to shout out on the show, shout them out. Go to the comment section, put it in. I'm going to give us a minute. If anybody have a shout out, I'm going to shout you guys out. Sister Mila, thank you for coming on the show. Sister Kathina, thank you for coming on the show. Zaid, I didn't even put you up, brother. Thank you for coming on the show. I get to shout out my own people, man. Who else? We got other people here. I have to learn how to work this a little bit better. I'm sorry. Bilal, shout out to you. Sister Nafisa. I already said hello, but I clicked your button. Forgive me, but a shout out to everybody. If anyone else has any shout outs, I'm telling you, if I'm not on the air to shout them out, this is what you do. Call that individual. Pick up the phone, call that individual, and you shout them out personally. And you say, "Hey, I was on the Preacher Mars show, and with the shout out show, he told me to shout you up. A shout of love, appreciation, and gratitude. My brothers and sisters, this is another show. Let me apologize in advance because I realized that my mother and my aunt did not get that link. So I'm in double trouble. So make the wall for me because by the time they get on me, I may not be back next week." Oh, okay, Sister Mila. A shout out to Tahira Isha Brewer for buying her babies e-gifts already. Alhamdulillah. Sister Adrian, you get to do it officially. I'm gonna put you on the screen. Shout out to my late mom. God bless you, everybody. I'm making dua for you, and I'm praying. Inshallah, you're having a good Ramadan. And guess what? You know what? Let's just be good people. Sister Kathina, I'm not even gonna. I'm put yours right up on screen. All right. Appreciate you. Hope to see you soon. Remember, it's Preacher Mars, the shout out show. My old saying is, whatever it is, keep in your mind, remember, Allah is God. Keep it simple. Take care now.